Tucker Carlson's unemployed right now. Here's some reactions to that news.
That's one of the few voices in the Republican Party that would call out the nonsense from GOP senators, governors, and otherwise.
But not everyone is upset.
Come on, folks. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, goodbye.
I mean, hot button issue of the quarter. I don't think it's the week.
And listen, I don't know why he got fired. I saw the Dominion lawsuit. Some people think it's associated with that. I don't really know what was going on or why he got let go. You know, you'd have to imagine, and this is another thing that I think people jump to conclusions too quickly. You'd have to imagine with how popular the guy was on Fox that the Murdochs had some real reason to have to get rid of him. I'm sure they didn't want to get rid of the guy. I mean, he's bringing in a ton of revenue for the company. So I reserve judgment until then. I think the video though was hilarious. I'm not surprised in the slightest that The View was chanting in excitement about him being gone, and kind of funny. It is what it is. I think he got one hell of a severance. Not severance; they mutually parted ways. But someone said that he got some ridiculous amount of money in the move away from. I don't know.
Sure.
Do you have any knowledge of how
not
much
on that? I'm sure it's going to be secret. I find just besides him getting fired, we don't know what reason. There's a lot of stuff out there. But what I find really interesting from the content side of it is I've been doing this shit for years. And, I knew who he was, and I don't really tune in every night by any means. But I will say and I know he has his own podcast and had guests on. I know Dave was going to be on the show or was on the show once. But
on the show like 12 times.
So I've seen him in the last, let's just say 6 months. I've seen him on more TikToks and doing more interviews with like the Nelk boys and just I've seen him getting more interviewed more in the last 6 months. And again, that's just the times you want to, either you're growing or you're dying. So maybe he's getting out there more. Like he sees Donald Trump doing the Nelk boys stuff. Something in my head is just like he was planning a move or knew something was coming or just being smart and getting himself out there. So I'm really excited. I'm not a Tucker guy by any means, but like I'm excited to see what he does next because he can't go to CNN, he can't go to MSNBC, and he's not going back to Fox. So like, where does he go? Does he jump into Ben Shapiro? Does he maybe start a new news network and grab Don Lemon and say, let's do this together? Let's hit him from both sides. Because Don Lemon got fired the same day.
Yeah,
and like,
I gotta tell
don't know,
you,
it'd be something. Reinvent the wheel. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, if they put Tucker and Don at the same show, it'd be a pretty intriguing thing to watch. Yeah, the thing is, when you come to these things, and I know that we've heard stuff like this in the past, where you're like, well, who was the gentleman, Sean, that you used to work out, a big Wall Street guy, and this guy always in the same gym with you? Who was that guy?
He just was in trouble on CNN.
Cuomo.
Andrew.
Who was the governor? Chris
Cuomo. I think it was Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris
was on
Cuomo.
CNN.
Yeah.
But you see like some of the stuff that he comes in afterwards and was like, I kind of had to say a lot of this stuff, and he supposedly has changed. I don't watch any political news network, so I don't really know.
Yeah, he's on the new one, News Nation or something.
Yeah, okay. I've heard his tone has changed a lot, and he was kind of almost sigh of relief to leave CNN because he had to say certain things. He had points to say because at the end of the day, and I see this. You see this on TikTok a lot. You're talking about for-profit companies who profit off of saying things that they know you'll agree with in order for you to watch more, consume more, and then they get more ad revenue and all that stuff. So, like, I think that people have to understand that that's part of the thing. It's
a fear porn. It's a fear porn factory.
Yeah.
It's like, got to tune in after the break. Pop-Tarts are going to kill you. What? Why?
The Browns,
tonight at 6. Tonight at 6.
Tonight at 6. Brown sugar, though, you're good there. You just can't go to the other ones.
Brown sugar, cinnamon.
Yes, but you're right. It's. I think people have to understand, and that's one of the things that I love about the new age, where like, I think there's a lot of, even myself sometimes, like, until we grow this podcast, sometimes I don't even tell people that I do a podcast. Last night, like, for whatever reason, I went to this event down in Atlantic City, and it's a bunch of political people. It's a bunch of these big business owners and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, people love to talk to me about my TikToks and my former baseball career and all this stuff. And like it's weird for me to talk about, but like people love it. But part of me that loves about like the new age where everyone has a podcast is that like me, Sean, and TiVo right now theoretically can say there's no one above us saying, "Hey, listen, hit these points. Let's talk. Let's make sure we're hitting this, this, and this, and this, and this." Like, and there's so many shows out there that are giving you your unadulterated opinions with no, there are obviously some people trying to hit. I mean, we just talked about in the first segment how we're doing hot button topics so we get views, but it's our actual opinion on that. It's not our network saying you got to hit these points. Your opinion has to be this. And I think it's so good. I think it's really good. It's one of the things that I think are so positive about the social media world that we've gone into. I think not everyone's opinion should be heard because I don't think some people are educated on it. I like to always preface my opinions when I don't feel like I'm educated on it that, hey, I'm uneducated here. I don't know the answer. But I think one of the positive things is that there's so many people now. You can get some pretty educated opinions without a network pushing exactly what they have to say, and that's that's Fox, that's CNN, that's I'm sure The View in a way. I'm sure there's a lot of networks out there that are just, hey, listen, you got to hit these, otherwise you see Don Lemon gets canned, Tucker Carlson gets canned, Bill O'Reilly. I think he had some sexual assault stuff, but you'd see all these huge names that you get some bad PR and see ya because they have a certain reputation to maintain, and if Sean has a sexual assault thing, I would let him on the show the next week. We talk about it. But I don't know. I think it's good. It's interesting though, the Tucker Carlson stuff. I'm
TiVo.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what comes out with Tucker in the coming weeks and what exactly is. I'm sure he'll probably announce on the Nelk Boys of why he got canned.
Yeah,
which
be fun to follow.
He's got podcasts written all over him.
Oh.
He already
has his own
one,
show, though, right?
Like,
he
could
does.
mail it in. Yeah, he could mail it in and just do that and make a ton of money, I'm sure. But I don't know. He seems like he's young enough to maybe really go for something. He's got to get backers, but like Ben Shapiro's got an empire. I'm sure there's plenty of people that would back him.
Backers, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Certainly. I look for. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I just look forward to hearing. I look forward to seeing what he does, but I also look forward to hearing exactly what his next episode of the podcast. If he teases it that he's talking about,
he released a statement last night, like a 2-minute video, and I think it got like 10 times more views than his Fox News Hour did. So he won there. Damn. But it was more of a general statement, like, hey, things happen, things move on. There's very
He's also
few places
paying for Twitter.
Twitter Blue.
As supporting the movement. Support Elon Musk. That's what I'm telling you. Support the movement.